You've made it to part 4 of the Mozart exposition. So this is going to be starting in measure 81 and going to the downbeat of measure 91. And this is the end of the exposition. Right? In our concertos, we have exposition, development, recapitulation. Okay? This is the part that's typically asked for in an audition. Just as a reminder, you will count out the rests in between measure 77 and measure 80. I like to just sing the orchestra part in my head through here to make sure I don't get lost. Okay, here we go. So it's a lovely ending here. There's lots you can think about in Mozart that we haven't really talked about yet in terms of character, but this part demonstrates it really well. In his lifetime, Mozart was best known for his operas. So you could think of this whole exposition in terms of opera characters. We've got the big, bold bum, 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 bum at the beginning. And then right here, we come with this very sweet so you can think about what tone, color, and characters you want to use to reflect those. Let's talk about the end of measure 82. This is the tricky one. You should be able to do it first without any ornamentation in time. Then we're going to add in just the appoggiatura, which is going to be an F sharp on beat 4. Again. Then we're going to add in the resolution notes. The fancy German one for it is the Nachschlag at the end of the measure. These are going to be a D and an E. Again, being able to do that very in time with the metronome. Then and only then are you allowed to add in the trill. Okay? You do want to do the trill fingering for this trill here, but not for the upper neighbor. Okay, not for the appoggiatura. It sounds too out of tune. So in slow motion, my fingers do bum, bum, ba-da, ya-da-da, bum, bum, yada, yada-da. It's a tricky one. Okay, this next part, measures 84 and 85 are a repetition of each other, so I recommend doing the first one a little softer, the second one on the little bit bigger side. It's another part that really tends to rush, especially on the descent, so work with those upbeats to keep it really strictly in tune. Measure 87, when we've got our trill here on the E, your appoggiatura is going to be an 8th note F sharp, followed by your 2 16th note resolution notes. Keep in mind, those should be exactly in time. They are metered. Is what it sounds like without the trill. The next measure is just a little variation on the 8th notes that happened in measure 86. The intonation of 86 and 88 should match each other. And then I recommend you put a crescendo in measure 89 up to beat 4, maybe little tiny noodle lines on those C sharps in beat 4, and I would slur 2 in beat 4 like this. Okay, and then we've got another trill here. You're going to do your real F sharp fingering as the appoggiatura note and go to your E, and then add your D, E, D at the end of this. Your appoggiatura, again, is going to be an 8th note. Your resolution notes at the end are still my 16th notes, very metered. Then you can add in the trill. The trill, make sure you count through it. Make sure you get a full, well, once you take away everything else, it ends up being 3 beats of actual trill here. When you're trilling, lots of times people feel like this is a trill they have trouble with or they can't get to be even. Try bending your thumb. If you play with a straight thumb, like a lot of us do, I do most of the time, I have to intentionally bend my thumb for this trill to get it to work. And I'm using the real fingerings for that Nachschlag, those resolution notes at the end, because this is such an out of tune way to end the exposition. You want to end really strong. That is a very brief rundown of this exposition, really just hitting the most important points. There is so much more you could study in this. You will spend a lifetime studying this piece, but I hope this gets you started and feeling confident.